All right, welcome to the Indie Flix Podcast, where we discuss and support low-budget indie films from around the world. I am your host, Alan.
And I am Kells. Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you, Kells. Welcome. Very first episode. Isn't this awesome?
It is.
This is so awesome. So tell the listeners, what will we be discussing?
Well, the first movie that we have decided to talk about is a low-budget indie film called Haven.
Haven.
And it's starring Darren Lee Cupp, which happens to be my dance instructor.
Yeah.
And directed by RJ Maurer. And I knew that he was in this movie for years. He's probably been my dance instructor since I'm thinking 2016, 2017.
Oh, word.
But I never got around to watching it. And I don't know if it was just because I haven't had time or I just, didn't want to see my dance instructor in a different light than my dance instructor.
He was a brute in that. Yeah.
Right. But then him and I started doing some acting together. I played his sister in a short indie film.
Oh, cool.
And so then I got really interested in seeing his other work. So I was excited to watch it. I found it on Amazon Prime, rented it for $5. If you want to buy it, it's $15. But I have to say I was entertained.
Yep. Yeah, and I agree, because this is the one thing about. First of all, I want to say the reason why we started this podcast is to bring light to indie filmmakers.
Right.
Whether if you're an indie filmmaker, indie actor or actress, any profession in the film industry, and you're an indie person, this is the whole point of this podcast. Obviously, Hollywood does not need any promoting,
Right.
But I will say this, and I will move on. This is just my opinion. Hollywood is out of ideas, and they're being desperate right now with all the remakes.
They regurgitate the same ideas over and over and over with the same people over and over.
With the same
over.
people. I just saw a trailer for Mighty Ducks. They're bringing another Mighty Duck. Oh my God.
Geriatrics on ice. I'm just saying. I keep it real, okay?
And that's word, because though we love those movies,
right,
it's just we don't want to see it again.
No, and that's like meet the parents, and then meet the Fockers, and then meet the second cousins. Okay,
right.
We're over.
We don't make the entire family now.
Yeah,
we met them the first time,
right? There's no need for it.
We don't need
just
for
like
it.
Season 12 of a TV show probably should have stopped at season 10.
Exactly. Except for Friends.
It's just well, right. I have to agree. Friends should have probably ended about 1 or 2 seasons before it did. But
no, like after. That's right. You're not Friends.
No, I like Friends.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of blockbuster movies.
Right.
I've been a big fan of movies in Hollywood since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole indie movie experience is fairly new to me.
Right.
And now that I've been a part of it, I appreciate it a lot more.
Yep.
Because when you only have a few $1,000s to make a movie, and it is what it is, but it's a good product, why crap on it?
Exactly.
It's somebody's work.
Right.
And
exactly.
I don't know.
And Hollywood's definition of indie film is $1 million.
Right. Oh,
who has $1 million?
That's a low budget Hollywood film.
Yeah, that's a low budget Hollywood film.
That's what they spend on the pizza that they
exactly.
buy everybody. Right.
Micro budget is $500,000.
Right.
It's like, who has $500,000? They consider Quentin Tarantino and Jordan Peele indie filmmakers. It's like, no, they're not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they're Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I'm not crapping on Hollywood. I just want to get this out there first. But at the same time, some of the best films did not come out of Hollywood. There's several of them that we'll most likely be discussing in later episodes. I don't want to give anything away right now, but it's like I have them at home. You go to these film festivals and you see these films, they're absolutely amazing, and Hollywood, just like you said, just keep regurgitating the same stuff over and over and over again. And it's because their friend went to USC and took up telecommunications, and they worked in their studio for like 5-10 years, and now they get an opportunity to make their film, and they got backing for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they were of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
Right.
Where you have like these people that made this film, worked on Peanuts.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to bring it up because it's fresh in my head. I was looking at a Facebook post with Roman Jossart and Tori Jones. They're making this movie. They just wrapped, I believe, yesterday or today. And they literally slept in tents and stuff and stayed on set, throughout the whole thing. That's indie films.
Right. And I think they did that in Haven.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so to me, that's indie films. Mm-hmm. How many Hollywood people would do that?
Right. And I mean, we like to talk about the low budget ones, but if you watch the Oscars, like 9 out of 10 times you're like, what movie is that? I never heard of that movie.
Never heard of that movie.
Because it's an independent film. Mm-hmm. It was a good film, but it wasn't a blockbuster film that people heard of. Right. You're not going to see the Avengers being put out there as Best Picture. Right. Even though, Black Panther won, good for him, Wakanda forever, right? But any other time, if you see a Transformers movie, maybe special effects is going to get an award, and that's it. That's it. Because storyline, acting, it's all lacking because the draw is the action and the special effects.
Exactly. And that's a very good point. And we was talking about earlier how a lot of them overlook good people that should have been picked for a film, and because of, like you said, age or because of stuff like that. And it's
Story
like, dude,
of my life, love.
And it's like you're really missing out because these people are great actors or actresses, right? You know what I mean? You're a great actor. Actress.
I'm not offended by any of that.
Okay, so you're really good at what you do, and I really believe that it needs to be recognized. You know what I mean? So instead of looking over it and grabbing these people, we need to start putting it out there more. Right. Like with these indie films, like I was mentioning earlier, with film festivals, there's beautiful films there. Absolutely beautiful films there, but they get overlooked because somebody like Kevin James come in. Not Kevin James. What's the name?
I was like, what with Paul Blart? Is he coming in?
I mean, not Kevin James, but Kevin Smith. Okay. I was thinking Kevin Smith come in because
makes more sense.
Yeah, he goes to film festivals and make films and put them in film festivals, and of course he win is because of who he is. He has the money, he has the resources, right? Of course,
the popularity.
Yeah, and so then these film festivals hike up the entry cost to $200. Just to make sure that Kevin Smith gets paid. And so it's bullcrap to me. You shouldn't be allowed to enter your films in there because we know who Kevin Smith is. Right. If you're not a big time into films, but you watch films every now and again, I'm sure you know what Clerks is.
Oh, well, yeah, I know what Clerks is.
You see what I'm saying?
And
you know what Jay and Silent Bob.
Exactly. I know all that, yeah.
So it's not fair. So, but if I come to you and say, hey, have you seen the movie Occupants? You know what I mean? Occupants, I don't know. Freaking awesome movie that I seen at the Fright Night Film Festival a couple years ago. We'll probably be talking about that one too. Okay. But you see, that's what I'm saying.
Spoiler alert,
listeners. Yeah. So that's basically the gist. We want to bring attention to indie filmmakers, low budget. If your budget was $2, if your budget was $50,000, and that's fine. We're going to talk about you guys. We're not movie reviewers. We're discussers, and we want to. And I know that's not a word, but I just created it.
Hey, we're discussers, not reviewers.
Exactly,
that makes sense to me.
And we're going to discuss it so that these people can start getting on the front line and make Hollywood look silly, just like. The hashtag and the thing I'm creating called Indiewood. There's no more Hollywood. All you got to do is just go watch the movies that you got on your DVD stand right now, because that's all they're making right now. So indie filmmaking is going to take over, and they're making great movies. So,
all right.
Now, Kells, you suggested our first episode to be Haven.
Yes, I did.
Tell us a little bit about Haven, the trailer. I mean, not the trailer, but the.
Well, it's a post-apocalyptic movie. Okay, so yeah, you hear that and you're like, okay, there's 100 of those. But this was here in Indiana. Okay, you actually see downtown Indiana get blown up.
First shot, man. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, it sucks that it was
right. But you know what? Sometimes you wonder.
By the way, just so you guys know, these films will have spoilers. because we're discussing the films. So there will be spoilers. There's no ratings because we're not rating films. We're just discussing them.
Right. We'll try not to give too much away, but we will be discussing the movies. But 4 years after the nuclear disaster, the father, who is played by Darren, has a daughter who's in her teenage years by now. And he basically is trying to teach her to survive off the land because there's really nothing but rubble and chaos outside.
Right.
So they live a simple life in the woods, and when a routine supply run goes awry, trouble soon follows them. So there is drama, there's action, there's laughter and sadness throughout the movie. I mean, it's like every recipe of a good movie. Exactly.
It hits on everything. It, like you just said, the action, the suspense, even the tear jerkers, man. It's like, I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's even a tiny little twist at the end that you don't see coming.
Right. So. You know what I mean? And I had to pause a second. I was like, wait a minute, what just happened? Oh, okay. Because I was like, oh man, no.
I know, Chad and my husband and I were watching it, and he's like, I wonder if she's getting food for her dad.
Yeah, because I was like, no, not Darren, no. On the ground, like, no, mama, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I really liked it. My favorite part is when she threw that rifle down and took off running. She was like, screw this, I'm out of here.
Right.
That was hilarious.
Right. Yeah, she was like gung-ho about being a bad guy until... I'm gonna lose this fight.
Yes.
My favorite part is at the end, the final scenes of the bad guys getting pummeled with arrows.
Yes.
The arrow to the eye.
Oh, that was so freaking cool.
For an indie movie, and I thought that was pretty good.
So I had this. I'm sitting there, and I mean, really big because I make horror films.
Right.
If you guys don't know, I make horror films. So I was really into like, how in the world did they pull that off?
Right. That's good.
Because I'm usually really good about rewinding and looking at it like, oh, okay, they did that. Okay, they did that. I was thinking, even looking at it.
It literally went inside.
Because as I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's no way they did this shot in reverse. Because there's a lot of times when you do the shot in reverse, it makes it look like, you're hitting them in the face with something and things like that because you don't want to do it because of safety reasons.
Right.
But I'm just looking at this.
You still don't know.
I still don't know. So, Darren and RJ, can y'all please let a brother know so I can use that in one of my films?
It was really very reminiscent of Friday the 13th 3 with the bow and arrow in the eye.
Yep.
It was, but I was impressed with that. For what, like I said, for what it is, it's an indie film, low budget. Some parts of it you could tell, sound was a little off. Some parts were louder than others. Right. It happens.
But it wasn't taken away from the story.
Not at all.
You know what I mean?
No.
It wasn't like they was recording it off the camera.
I'm watching this to literally review it and critique it. If anybody else was just watching it to be entertained, they wouldn't have noticed that.
Exactly.
And then some of the special effects were like, you could see as an indie film.
Yeah.
But that, with the arrow in the eye, I was like, whoa, that's awesome.
That was really cool. And it's like, what's that meme that be coming on with Nicolas Cage? Like, yeah, right in the eye.
And yeah, I think Darren at first was a little hesitant for us to talk about it because he's like, please don't rip me apart. One, I would never do that to any actor because I'm telling you, it is not an easy job to put yourself out there, and then to pretend to be someone else.
Right.
That's the vision of someone else.
Exactly. Right.
I think that's a lot of there's a lot of disconnect when actors and actresses don't get a part because I'm guilty of it. I'm too old, I guess they don't want an old woman, or I'm too short, or I'm too overweight. But maybe I'm just not the vision that the director was looking at. And when they do take that leap and you become a new vision, that's pretty amazing.
Right.
So being an actor, actress is not easy. So I would never rip anybody apart. I thought he did a great job, but his daughter.
That's what I was going to say.
She was good.
She's good. I can't pronounce her last name, so I don't want to chop it up.
She played Lila.
Yeah.
Her name's Maren.
Maren. I don't want to chop up her last name.
Huelsman.
Huelsman.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that's
correct. Huelsman.
But she was beast.
She was great.
And I don't know if you ever seen the movie Hannah, but she reminds me of Hannah. And that was really, really good. Now, unfortunately, there were some bad things that I will discuss about because, like you just said, the point of view as the actress, I'm doing the point of view as the filmmaker.
Right.
The only negative, and I can even get over it, the only negative was the fade outs. It should have been more establishing shots.
Okay.
Other than that, like I said, I can get over that. The cinematography, though, see, that's what I'm saying. Indie films, man, it was. Y'all have to give these people credit. Indie, this was really good. It looked good. It was clear, good quality.
Right.
Really good shots. The visual effects was good.
Right.
Acting was good. I have no complaints.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was entertained. Are you not entertained?
Yes, exactly. Exactly, Gladiator.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and anybody who wants to go out there and get it on Amazon Prime, it's worth the $5. It really is. And if you want to leave a review, please do. If not, don't. It's up to you.
We highly recommend you do because those reviews help the people, the filmmakers, a lot, because how the algorithm works for places like Amazon, Netflix, and all these things is so, like, if you rate it good or give it a good review or things like that, they start to push it higher up in the suggestions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I had a heck of a time finding it.
Right.
Because I can find it on my phone easy peasy. But when we got on Prime, I had a really hard time finding it.
Same thing with me because I was like, this isn't it. And I believe I took a picture.
It was a different haven that was kept coming up. And I'm like, no, I know this isn't
This isn't it. So, and that's exactly the point. Please make sure you guys rate it. And rate it 5 stars. It's like those jobs where if you don't get 99, if you get 99, it's still a fail.
Right.
So please give it 5 stars.
Right. And like there's people who go out and put negative reviews are people who are expecting a blockbuster film.
Exactly.
And you got to go into this with an open mind that this is a low budget indie film. Were you entertained?
Exactly.
Did they do a good job?
Exactly.
Give them 5 stars because they deserve it.
And that's the number one thing, like you said, go into it open-minded and understand that this is an indie film. Now, we're not reiterating this because it's garbage. We're reiterating it because you don't want your expectations to be Transformers and it's something else.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I've seen I Am Legend. That's not the film I'm thinking of. Book of Eli. Well, yeah, that's more with zombies and stuff like that. But Book of Eli is more apocalyptic.
Book of Eli with Denzel Washington. I love that movie.
I'm sure. I wonder why. He had all with his crusty lip. But
that was the superest twist at the end of that movie, though, wasn't it?
No, I love that. It was spoiler. It was a Braille book. You can go in and have it. You can't read it.
Right. I know.
Because I'm a religious person, that's how God works. You can go in and take it, devil. You can't even read it.
That's all right.
But anyway, so that's the thing with these indie films. You just have to go into it open-minded and enjoy it. Don't go into it. In any of these indie films we suggest, don't go into it ready to just knock it down because it's an indie film. Right. Go into it as, hey, this is a film I'm just going to sit and watch and try to enjoy. And by the way, it's a feature film, but it's only 69 minutes. So it's not going to take up your whole day.
Right.
Like the Avengers, you literally got to clear your schedule.
Well, not only that, and then you have, like, Endgame, you have to kind of just, or actually Infinity Wars was one of them, that you had to take like 2 hours to decompress from it. Yeah. And you're like, what just happened?
Like Teresa, she was like, I'm not watching no more Marvel movies. What did they do to Tony Stark?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it was like that with Infinity Wars and Endgame. I just left there going, what did they do? I'm salty. I'm so upset.
Oh, are they not? Oh my God, y'all have the stone. Why don't you just go and get him or something?
You know, I watched it 5 other times, so it's not like I boycotted it, but I'm still upset. Oh,
Teresa totally boycotted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, we really believe this movie is a really good movie. Like we said earlier, you know, if there's any other movies you guys want to suggest as an indie film, the budget is $50,000 or less. When I mean indie film, like you can't find this nowhere.
Right.
You know, indie films, we have to support one another. Mm-hmm. You know, this one guy, he's a producer. I can't think of his name at the moment. It eludes me. He says, "I am not your competition. I'm your network." You know, so I really believe we're not fishing. We should not act like fish in the barrel. We should support one another and help the film community, help one another. The platform is so broad, everybody can make it.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, there's always going to be a role for me. Okay.
And you know you're going to be in my films.
I know. I'm going to be the girl that gets killed in all of your films. I will never be a final girl. No, I'm just kidding. No, there will be. There's always room for a mom. Which, I'm sorry, I'm typecast. I seem to always be the mom.
With the sword.
But there's also room for middle-aged woman looking for love. You never know. I mean, I might be writing a story about that now. Hint. Right.
That's going to be turned into a movie.
I've done some local stuff, which I really enjoyed. And one of the guys in this movie as well, in Haven, Jason Page, played my husband in one of them.
Word.
Yeah. And when I watched the movie, it was like, I texted him, I'm literally watching it get eaten right now.
And not in the good way.
And any other time I text this to somebody, they'd be like, "Who is this? And what are you talking about?"
Right?
Like, yeah, that was really fun.
That was really cool. Yeah, he was like, yeah, that was really cool.
Exactly what I was talking about.
Like Amy, she sits there and talks about, now this is hilarious. And she doesn't watch horror films. She doesn't watch horror films, but she's always playing in them.
Yeah.
She's always loves to be in them and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, I just love getting killed. But who says that?
Right.
Who says that?
I the first horror movie I was in and I was killed, I was elated. I was like, was that scream good enough? The only thing I hated was they made me run.
Oh.
They made me run through the woods and they were chasing me. And
Babe
in
the woods.
Do not make me run anymore.
Oh, for the people, can you tell us what movie that was?
To be honest with you, it was my cousin's movie. It's been 10 years, maybe. And it had never finished.
Oh.
So I don't even think it had a name yet.
Okay.
But I was the opening sequence.
Nice.
Of running through the woods.
Tell your cousin.
I trip.
Oh, yes, of course.
I do all of the stereotypical things of being a victim. But yeah, I hated the running part. That was the one part. Because I'm like, if I was ever being chased by a real killer, I'm just going to give up.
Look, dude,
I'm not going to outrun you. I'm not going to do it.
And I want to point this out, too, because I get on Teresa all the freaking time about this. We watch it, she's like, oh, my God, why are they tripping fire? Let me explain something. It is a horror movie trope. But think about this. If you're running, and you're literally running for your life, and you turn around, especially if you don't know the area, you turn around and look, you're going to fall.
Right.
And people's like, I don't believe this. Check this out. Scientists say that when you're driving, this is why they say keep your eyes on the road. Because when you're driving and your eyes go somewhere else, that's where you start driving.
Yep.
That's where your hands go. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like with football. They taught us, when you throw on the football or the baseball, look at the target and throw it there because that's where your hand's going to go.
Right. So
that's exactly the same thing with the running situation. You're running. I'm trying to explain this. She's like, I don't care. I don't care why they got to follow every time. Like, you know what? Just watch the daggone movie. But that's exactly what I want to get that out.
You can ask logical questions in about every movie, but either it's going to be a super short movie, or a super dull movie, because you got to add something to it.
You got to add the stupidness.
Right.
Now, the one thing it is hard for me to, I guess, get over is when they run upstairs. There's a back door. You know what I mean?
But honestly, I am a huge horror movie fan. Like, huge. That was what I watched, even at like 8 years old. I'm watching Nightmare on Elm Street.
Heck yeah.
But we used to try to simulate that when I was a kid. You know, like my brother would be the killer. And the first thing you do is you just run away. Whether it's upstairs or downstairs or outside, you're just trying to get away.
Right.
And if you know there's a door that could possibly protect you between you and the other person, you're going to run wherever you think a door is.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, sometimes that's upstairs.
Your safe zone is your room.
Right?
So you
exactly.
went straight to your room.
You go straight to your bedroom, shut the door, and lock it. Now, little do you know, Jason and Michael, they're fucking magicians. Oh, I'm sorry. You might have to bleep that out.
We ain't bleeping. It's a podcast.
They're magicians. All of a sudden, they're in your room.
Right. Like when you was just...
Exactly.
You sucker MC. But you're absolutely right about that. And I it's something that I can get over. It doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. It's just sometimes when you're watching that one movie and you're like, yes, this is a great way to get away. They should just run up the damn stairs. Mm-hmm. Come on, people. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, please check out Haven.
It's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime.
I believe on iTunes as well.
So RJ is in Los Angeles, right? Mm-hmm. So that's my point. It doesn't necessarily mean just because you're in LA doesn't mean you're Hollywood.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I really think that I've seen horror films from the UK, Australia, you know, that have small budgets. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that it's big time and everything else. So we just got to keep in mind, everybody, support indie films. They really need it. We really need it. We need to bring it to the forefront and show Hollywood that they got some competition.
Yeah.
Indie films is taking over.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add, Kells?
No, just if you can go to these people's pages too on Facebook and Instagram and follow them, see what they're in next. Really, it's all not only the support of the film and the filmmaker, it's the actors and actresses in them.
Exactly.
Because this Maren girl,
yes,
I'm a fan.
Yes, absolutely.
And then when I went for my last dance lesson, Darren said she moved to California and she's a singer.
See?
And she wrote a song and he played her song and I'm like, I like this
There you
song.
go. And see, and you guys always multi-talented. It's not just acting and actors. Like you're a singer as well.
Yes.
And it's singer, songwriter. You play instruments and everything else. Plug in, the party playing indie. So you do it all, and it's not just acting for you. You have all these other outlets.
Oh yeah, it's more performing. I think I'm a natural born performer. I think since I can remember doing church skits.
Right.
At 3 years old.
I would love to see those.
I got to play Little Red Riding Hood in my kindergarten play, and I think I got the bug. As soon as it happened, because I'm like, I'm the star. I'm the star. My sister's a tree, and I'm the star. and I'll never let my sister live that down.
And this is a big deal because she's a twin. So it's like, no,
That's right.
I'm the star.
I did. I got bit by the bug at a very young age.
That's pretty cool. And at 3 years old, that's really cool.
I was always on stage, whether I was singing or acting, until I got out of high school. And then I lost my father, and my mom really needed my help because my grandmother had Alzheimer's. And so I kind of just put everything on hold to be with family.
Totally understand.
And, time machine, go back. Yep. I wish I could do things over again. I could go to LA at 21 because I was hot and, didn't push out babies. But at the end of the day, I'm so glad to where I am today because I have a good head on my shoulders. I'm doing what I love to do, regardless whether I'm at the Oscars or not. Who cares?
Who cares?
I'm enjoying my life. So
and that's I've always felt that of course I want to get paid and make some money off films and stuff like that. But if I never make a dime off my films, I'm fine with that because I'm living my dream. Right, exactly. How many people can say they actually doing what they dreamed of doing? Right. I am actually making films. Yeah. High School Dropout. You know what I mean? So High School Dropout and I'm making films. Right. You know what I mean? Rapper Tupac said, picture a high school dropout rolling the Rolls Royce. You know what I mean? So, and I feel the same way. I started acting in elementary school, kind of an accident because I was the only black kid that had a black suit.
Oh, you were token. You were token.
I was token. Yes, I was token. Had the afro and everything. What did Carmen say? You can play the bass guitar. And then he used to start playing. He was like, you asshole. But yes, that was me. I had the afro. I had the black suit. Right. I was Martin Luther King.
Okay, well, yeah, you had to play that.
Had to. I knew that I have a dream speech front and back for like 3 years. And then I loved entertaining.
Sure.
You know, I got the opportunity to work backstage, help build the set and things like that. So when I did that, I fell in love with the production part.
Right.
I don't like being on camera now, but it's like I love creating this vision from a piece of paper. You know what I mean? Because as you can see with my notes, I made notes and everything of scripts and ideas and everything else just all over the house. And from creating something like that to
I've gotten many a long text from you. Okay, so which movie are we doing first? Because you sent me like 6 ideas.
I know, right? We're sitting there like, what do you think about this?
I know. Kelly, read this. This is my idea.
Because it's so long, it comes in like 4 texts.
Right. Are we doing this one? Is the last one you just sent me last week? Should I add this to my list?
I add this to it? Yeah, it's beautiful, you know, and I admire you guys as actors and actresses because we put you guys through a lot.
I've been very fortunate that most of my roles have been day player roles, probably at the most 2 days. To see people who have spent weeks and sometimes months on set is like amazing to me. I applaud people who can do that because people think, oh, you're an actor, oh, first world problems, but really it's an all day job.
Yeah, it is.
Nobody's going to go work at Amazon for as long as people are
be
trying
on
to
set.
act on set.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes. I mean, there's times you literally be on set. When I filmed The Mechanic, we was literally on the set for 18 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's typical.
And that's a typical film day, especially in the indie world. So, I mean, with Hollywood, they got trailers and all this other stuff.
Sure.
You know.
They get breaks and breaks and breaks and breaks.
Because
stand-ins and
exactly.
All that, yeah.
Stunt people. Oh, this is not my scene. I'm gonna go to my trailer.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we're gonna get there one day.
One day.
We're gonna get there one day.
I said my name will be in lights one day, and I'm gonna have a trailer one day.
Well, the trailer is gonna have like 5 people in there. Y'all gonna have to share it.
But details about my trailer. I have a trailer.
Look, this is Kells' seat. It's gonna have Kells on it in lights. She said she's gonna have her name in lights.
It reclines.
And it reclines.
It reclines.
Don't y'all sit in Kells' seat. Y'all hear this first. Don't sit in Kells' seat. But yeah, it's we're gonna get there one day. And like I was mentioning earlier, how you said they was filming and they was camped out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's dedication to me because how many people would do that?
Right. Especially if a lot of actors in indie films aren't being paid. If a lot, if at all.
Exactly.
So it's the experience, it's the resume boost, and it's also supporting filmmakers. Yes,
absolutely. My homegirl, Jamila Gonzalez, great actress. I'm sure you know her.
Yep.
Great actress. When I first met her, her and I talked, and she mentioned that she was in the movie Flight with Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah. I liked that movie.
And, I wonder why.
No. You just keep bringing up Denzel Washington movies that I like. I mean, I can't help it.
His lips weren't crusty in this one. But
no, but he was messed up.
He was lit. But I said, well, you was in this big Hollywood film. Would you want to mess with somebody like I'm literally small time? She was like, let me tell you something, because like you just said, it's resume building, and I'll support indie filmmakers. I was like, say no more. That's dope to me.
Right.
You know, that means a lot that you, Alex Marshall, same thing. He was in, I don't know if you've seen the movie. It's called Biker Boys with Lawrence Fishburne. I can never remember that woman's name. Lisa Bonet.
Cowboy Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis. See, so you seen it. Derek Luke.
And to all of the other children out there, Morpheus.
But
I knew him as Cowboy Curtis when I was a kid.
Cowboy Curtis from Pee-wee's Playhouse,
yes.
Not Big Adventure Playhouse. But yeah, he was in it. Derek Luke, Lisa Bonet, Kid Rock was in it, and Alex Marshall was in it as well. Our Alex Marshall. And I was like, same thing to him. I was like, dude, you want to be in my movie? He was like, yeah. I love this stuff. I love acting. It's not about, this or that. It's the craft.
Right.
It's the
passion and love of the art. And I mean, don't get me wrong, filmmakers out there.
Right.
If you need a free actress, it's not like I'm saying I'm free every single role. But
she said her schedule's free, not $3.
I honestly, I've been paid for 2 roles that I've ever done, but I'm happy with what I've done because I got experience on set. I got experience behind the camera.
Yep.
I've built relationships with people, and that's really important.
That is really important, and like to me as a filmmaker, it's most appreciated when you guys are willing to take credit or lunch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Free lunch and IMDb. Can I at least get a free t-shirt?
Get a free t-shirt. And that's another thing too. And I will say this as a filmmaker too. Please do something for these actors and actresses. IMDb credit, food.
A free reel.
A reel should be free.
Those are honestly one of the hardest things I've ever been able to get from a filmmaker is my reel.
Mm-hmm. And which should be free.
Right.
And, just things like that. I was super excited when I was able to, the first film I was able to pay my people. I was super excited because it's like, I've filmed so many things. I've filmed 3 web series, a whole bunch of short films, and a lot of them I didn't get a chance to pay people. Pay people. But when I finally got the opportunity, I was so happy to send on that PayPal. I was like, here, take it. Yeah. It's yours. I know it's just $100, but please take it. That was Sandman, right? No. Sandman. I did pay people with Sandman. See, there you go. So that was that too. I remember that. So it was just like, it was so, and I was talking about Bloody Mary, but I forgot all about it. I did pay y'all for Sandman. So there you go. It felt so good being able to pay people. I don't know if anybody else out there that get excited as a filmmaker to do that, but I believe you do. I believe they are. Because if you're starting from the bottom and where you are now, it is something exciting to be able to have. And then when you go to have to do your taxes, you get to write gas off. You get to write off coffee meetings and stuff like that. Right. That's so cool. We did that this year. It was like, I need that gas receipt, please. It's so cool. And that's the exciting part. That's one side of filmmaking I just absolutely hate is the business part. But unfortunately,
it's a necessary evil.
It's a necessary evil. Us creators, we just want to get right to creating. But we have to do the business stuff. So my tip, Kells, you have a tip as well. But my tip is this. Before you send anything to an actor, actress, DP, editor, anybody that's not you, please send them an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. The first time I got into film, I screwed that up. I didn't know. Right. I had literally zero resources. Right. And I talked to this guy because this other guy at work said, "Oh, this guy makes films." Oh, okay. I'm excited. My foot's in the door. Let's get this done. And he was like, "Oh, tell me about the film." I tell him about the film. And he's like, "Yeah, just email me the script." Oh, okay. I emailed him the script.
Oh, he stole your script.
And guess what he did?
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? No. And so now, I believe in karma because he did the film, took credit, everything else, and the movie sucked. So, which is a good thing because I got to see that, okay, my idea was garbage.
You could have totally played that off that was exactly what you wanted.
Hey, you know what I mean? And I
took, you fell for my plan.
Yes. What did Roger say? Finger pyramid of evil contemplation. But it was an eye opener because it was like, okay, NDA. From here on out.
Absolutely.
So if this situation happens again, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
You know, but any tips, Kells?
Well, for an actual filmmaker or a person who's wanting to act?
Well, since you only directed one film.
Yeah.
Slideshow, which is on youtube.com/Alan Wells SCF.
There you go.
But as an actress, what tip would you give to somebody, whether if they're a veteran actress or a rookie actress?
I would say to anybody who is either wanting to get into this business or who has been in this business, who hears a lot of no's. There's a yes around the corner. And if you don't hear a yes in the time that you want to hear a yes, make it yourself.
There you go.
I'm telling you. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm going to write my own movie. So I can star in my own movie. Not to be pretentious, not to be narcissistic, but if you want something to happen and it's not happening for you, you make it happen.
You make it happen. You daggone right. I love that.
If you have the drive, you can make it happen.
Right.
Period.
And just because of that, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
But you got to have the willpower and the want to do it.
Absolutely. So if you have an idea, but you don't know how to start, find somebody who's willing to partner with you to help you write the script, to help you write the scenes, to help you. I mean, that's what Alan's done for me. Is I've never written a script. I mean, I've written scripts for murder mystery dinners, but I don't need to know. I don't need to know lighting or what's the word you guys use when you break from one camera angle to another.
Oh, cutting and transitions and things like that.
In the script it'll say blah blah blah, and then it says
was it slug? What is
the word? I can't remember.
Interior bedroom
beats.
night. Oh, the beats.
Beats. I was like, the first script I ever saw that had that, I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, that means that it cuts off that camera angle and goes to a new camera.
You say beats? Well, I got some beats in the kitchen.
I don't even like beats. I gotta eat beets in this movie?
Oh, no, that's not what that happens. Then you smile in the camera, teeth are red. And that's another thing, which that's a good segue, which I'm sure people already know, but if you don't know, unfortunately, people don't, get into film groups. Film groups, actresses. This is so I've met, over the course of the year, I've met a lot of people who are first-time actresses and actors, like Shannon, who's in your film Slideshow, first-time actress. So I told her when we met, I said, here's a good tip. Find a film, regardless of the genre, find it, take a scene out of there, write down the dialogue that they're doing, write down what's going on in the scene, and just recreate it. These cell phones now are utterly ridiculous and beautiful, clear, and everything else. Put it on a tripod, or if you don't have a tripod, have somebody record it for you. Just hold it and recreate that scene. Get in one of those film groups and ask people to critique it.
Yeah, and they will.
And they
people will be honest.
And like you said earlier, be prepared for no's. Be prepared for critiques.
Right. Constructive criticism.
Unfortunately, some people can be douches.
Exactly. I was going to say, ignore the rudeness, because those are just people who are either jealous or they don't know how to critique. Yeah. So go for those constructive criticism responses where it's, hey, that was really good. You might want to work on what you do with your hands. But overall, I mean, that's a build, burn, build. Okay?
Right.
Say it's good, give you some notes, end it on a good note. That's what you do when you give people constructive criticism, instead of, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Those are people I ignore.
Ignore them. And you know how you kill them? Thank you. I appreciate your...
have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
I wish
and you let the audience eat them up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, trust me, I've put out films that I thought was terrible. And people was like, okay, this could have been a little better. If you work on this, you work on that. Okay, cool, thanks, I appreciate it. But then, of course, you have the people, oh, dude, this up.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Because if you've seen the movie Straight Outta Compton, so there was the scene where they was pulling up on the tour bus and they had the protesters out there, and it was burning all the albums and tapes and stuff like that. And the members of the group was like, man, I can't believe this and this and this. And
This
that.
was
Eazy-E,
NWA, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So Eazy-E was sitting in the back just chilling. And it was like, E, you not mad about this? He was like, hell no, they paid for it.
Exactly. They're burning the stuff they paid for.
They
we
paid
already
for
made
it.
our money off of it.
Yeah, just like those idiots. I swear, I'm sorry if y'all listening and y'all done it. I'm sorry, you're an idiot. You spent $100 and some on an
Nikes.
NFL jersey,
Oh,
on
our
Nikes
jersey,
or whatever, and then because of this happened, you go burn it up.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
You might as well just go in your wallet, pull out your credit card, and burn it up.
Okay, so I'm aging myself.
Uh-huh.
They did that with the Milli Vanilli tape. I wasn't getting rid of my Milli Vanilli tape. First of all, I loved it. I loved
Girl,
my
you know
Milli
it's
Vanilli
true.
tape. I don't care if he wasn't singing it or not.
No.
I like the songs.
I like the
Everybody
songs.
else is taking it back for their money back, or they're burning them, and I'm like, y'all I
stupid.
still like these songs.
You still like the song.
I still like it.
So what, they crushed you that it wasn't, you know what I mean?
They gave their Grammy back, whatever.
But the
I
song
like
was
the
still dope.
songs. Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. Like you said, the constructive criticism, like when the dudes were saying that the movie sucked, okay, I appreciate your time because you watched it.
Yeah.
So I got the view.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and you wouldn't know if it sucked or not without watching it.
Right.
So, and I guess that's the glass half full way to look at it.
Right. I mean, it's never easy to hear things like that.
Right.
But you can control how you react. You
Exactly.
can't control how you feel or how it makes you feel, but you can control how you react to it.
Exactly.
So stay professional, stay positive. Know that this person is maybe having a really stupid bad day, or maybe they're super jealous that they can't be a part of whatever you're being involved in. So I mean, there's all kinds. There's all kinds.
It's all about how you respond to it. So, like for example, if you're watching a football game and one of the players do something, the other person does something back to him. The person that does something back to him is always the one to get the flag. And it's like, well, didn't y'all see what he did first? No, I didn't. I saw him hit you, but I didn't see you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's always about the response, and then people eat you up when you respond negatively.
Yes.
So just thank you. I appreciate it, and let the audience eat them up. You know, let them because you're trying. You know, and I don't know about you, but I'm a hands-on learner. So
me too.
Absolutely, and most people are. So that's a great way to get better. That's why I told her this is how you do it. You can watch YouTube channels, you can read books, you can all this other stuff.
I mean, I used to look in the mirror.
Yeah,
when I would
exactly.
go over lines, I'd say, I don't like the way my face looks when I say that.
Right.
Let me change the way I'm looking and pointing and
right.
curling my lip. I mean, these are all like really important things because once you do, like, especially now with COVID, a lot of video auditions.
Yep.
So you've got to get that right.
Yep.
When you send it. And unfortunately, me, because of my schedule, I do 6 in one day, and they all suck. So
they don't suck, and you're always your worst critic. So
right.
And yeah, just stay positive. Keep doing it. If you don't like what you did before you send it out, do it again.
Yeah.
You know, just and get it to as many film groups as possible.
I was going to say that is really key because you'll not only see casting calls, but people in those groups, for the most part, will be there to support each other.
Yep.
So if I even remotely posted, I'm going to create a film based on this and I need people, I'll have 100 people interested without even saying if I can pay them or not.
Exactly.
And that's how you build your network.
And that's another good thing too, right there, is doing just that, you know, welcoming these people in that is in this group and say, hey, you know, like you just said, I want to do this. What do you think? Yeah, let me be a part of it. Okay, let's find a way for you to be a part of it.
Right.
Especially if you're a first-time filmmaker, you literally have no resources, you don't have anything. Okay, you have to work with what you have.
Right.
You know, and this is tip B, 1B. Don't write a script that asks for downtown explosions and car chases when you don't have access to those things.
Right.
You know, if you want to do a car chase, that's fine. Do it where you can put up a green screen and act like you're in the car and you're driving and doing things like that.
I was gonna say Hot Wheels.
Dude, I saw this YouTube video where they did exactly that with the cars, and the editing was so good that you didn't realize it until I saw the behind the scenes, and I was like, no way did they use Hot Wheels.
Well, and I'm going way off base now, but Star Wars.
Yes.
A lot of the scenes that you see of like 1,000 stormtroopers is a painting.
It's not even real people. They're just standing there because there's no movement. You're not paying attention to them.
No.
You're paying attention to the action that's happening in front of them.
Exactly.
So I don't know if you know about magic. How magic works is the magician wants you to look at the hand. Look at the hand because I want you to focus. Misdirection. Mm-hmm. You're going to focus on this because the act of magic is happening over here. Mm-hmm. The real magician is his assistant.
Right.
Because the assistant is doing all the work.
Right.
So that's how magic happened. It's the same thing with this.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little longer than what we wanted to.
Yes, we did.
When we get to talking about films, absolutely, I can't stop. I love films.
Right. Oh no, me too. And it's our first episode. So
first episode. Woo!
It's important for us to let everybody know where we stand with not only independent films but just movies and acting in general.
Exactly. And it's really important that we have. I can't express this enough. Support indie films because these people really work hard. They sacrifice just to get where Hollywood expects them to be. Obviously, Hollywood has set the bar, but their bar is falling.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, we are going to be out of here. Episode 1.
Oh, and believe it or not, we probably have a lot more to talk about.
Yes.
This is not all of our material.
Yeah, when we cut from here, we're still going to be talking.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, definitely email us, send a direct message or comment or something, suggest a film. Let us know where to find it. Oh, and by the way, like Kel said, this movie, Haven, starring Darren Lee Cupp and directed by RJ Maurer, is on Amazon Prime. To rent it is $4.99. To buy it is $14.99.
Mm-hmm.
So please support indie filmmakers. Watch this movie. We highly recommend it. It's really fun. Every freaking genre is in it. You will love it. Take the opportunity. Go into it with an open mind. And
we'll see you next time. Or at least you can hear us next time.
Hear us next time. Peace out. We love you.